come over and we start a fight. Never know who's wrong or right. Feel nothing when you go. I know it's not intelligent, drinking for the hell of it, but that's irrelevant now. We should talk about us. How come we're holding on? 'Cause really I don't see the benefits now. When you've broken my trust, so I just wonder, why do I fall back to you? Really nothing I can do about it. Why do I fall back to you?
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Live life. Live fully.
I'm having a little bit of a hiccup, so all right. Once again, my name is Omobola Stephen. Welcome to Live Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. So if you want to catch up with some of my missed episodes, just go online, search for Live Well Lived by Omobola Stephen on any podcast distribution platforms. And I guarantee you a what we're listening experience. Also, you can catch up with me on my social media accounts on LinkedIn, Omobola Stephen, on Twitter, Omobola Stephen, on Facebook, Omobola Stephen, and on Instagram, Omobola Stephen. Now to my talk show of today. Now, how can adversity and struggle fast-track a relationship, either to increase strength or to lead to a breakup? Now, that's an interesting question. I have a guest on today's show who's going to be doing justice to the topic of today. Now, I have Doc Sign. He's an hypnotist, an adventurer, and also a podcaster. Welcome with me on Omobola Stephen, Doc Signs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. As you said, I am a hypnotist, and I work pretty much exclusively with people who are looking to overcome issues like anxiety and other mental health issues. And you touched briefly on adversity in relationships. And specifically, my story with that is that this year, 2020, was very interesting for all of us. But for me personally, I had just started a relationship when lockdown started, and we had been together for about 3 weeks. And it came to the point we either had to separate and move halfway across the country from each other, or we had to kind of move in together very rapidly. And I think that we had a very good foundation because we'd been friends for, I think, 3 to 4 months before that. Oh. But the things that we went through really helped to strengthen our relationship. And I think that a lot of people are going to see that, like the adversity that we face this year has either strengthened the relationship or it's completely blown them apart.
That's right. That's right. You're right. So now I wanted to know about hypnosis.
Absolutely. I got into hypnosis through meditation, of all things. I had a pretty serious hike that made me start questioning all these things around mental health, around what I was contributing to my own mental health. And I discovered meditation as a way to calm my own anxiety. And a lot of people don't realize that meditation and hypnosis are actually pretty uniquely linked. The brainwave patterns of hypnosis and guided meditations, at least, are almost identical. And the feeling states that you go into are almost identical as well. And so I discovered hypnosis, and I used it to really break down my own anxiety. And when I did that, I just saw the potential for it.
Oh, great. That's great to know. So now, I understand that you are a Buddhist also and a philosopher. Now, what are the big questions of life that you have examined so far?
The big questions of life. Oh, gosh. I think anyone with anxiety is always wondering the big question of, are they safe and are they making a difference? And I've also struggled with depression in my own life. And so those big questions are like, does what I do matter? And so facing those questions, especially very early on in life, they really shape your perspective, because once you answer those questions, you really do have that steady foundation to build something pretty amazing.
That's right. So tell me about your love story.
Yeah. Absolutely. So my love story, I met this girl at a ski lodge that I was working at. We had both moved there to Alta, Utah at a kind of off-the-cuff notice, and we didn't know anyone when we moved there, and we became pretty much fast friends immediately. And she and I were friends for about 3 to 4 months, and then we became a relationship, and then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, the lodge and the ski area just completely shut down. And in 6 days, we had lost both our homes and our jobs. And we either had to move across the country back to our homes and probably, never see each other again. And we decided that we were going to live in the back of my truck, of all things. I had built a camper setup, and my plan was to explore the West using that. And it turned out, it worked, because we moved into it for our quarantine session just to make sure that those 2 weeks we weren't actually infected.
That's right.
But that was quite an interesting adventure, because, as I said, we'd only been dating for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And those 2 weeks in the desert, we really, really got to know each other. And
Wow.
I think, had there been any flaws in that relationship, I wouldn't recommend it for anyone who's not like completely certain about their relationship, because if there had been flaws, it would have just been catastrophic. We would have been in the middle of nowhere and just arguing.
That's right.
But I think that the adversity that we faced really helped bring us together faster, and really helped to establish a relationship that is now very steady and very strong.
All right, great that you understand that adversity, brings us close together. Okay, now, so how can you help your clients with any anxiety issues? Do you have any strategies you employ?
I do. I have, so my main tool is hypnosis, but I also have pulled together tools from meditation and yoga and neuroscience. And the tools that I give my clients, the tools that I give my clients to help themselves, they're very simplistic. You can learn them very quickly. And if anyone is interested, I've got those on my website. But the tools that I use in hypnosis, they are based in psychology and they're based in neuroscience. I really focus on the science behind hypnosis. And when I put people into this hypnotic state where they're more open to suggestion, that's one part of it. Then you have to have the science and the psychology background to understand what to do next. And once you have that, once you have the foundation of how to how to manage mental illness, then the change is relatively easy to make.
Oh, so now going by this pandemic situation, are you coping with your job? Like we're working remotely, so how do you handle your clients when it comes to this hypnosis stuff?
I work with my hypnosis clients completely online over Zoom.
Right.
And I had actually built it that way from the very start before COVID. And a lot of people think you have to be in person to be hypnotized, but it's really not the case. A lot of hypnotists, they really prefer to be in person, but it works just as effectively when you're doing it over Zoom.
Oh, great. Oh, great. No, can you share one of your fondest memories as an adventurer?
As an adventurer, I would say the first time I ever hiked a mountain, I had moved out to Maine to work at a summer camp job, and I had never really been in the mountains before. I grew up in Wisconsin on flatlands, and climbing that mountain, it was Tumble Down Mountain in Maine, and it was probably the hardest physical thing that I'd ever done up to that point, because we were scrambling up rocks and we were exerting ourselves the entire day. But when we got to the top of the mountain, just looking out over the view, I was just blown away. Not only because the view was beautiful, but because I had earned it every step of the way by my own perseverance. That was really the only thing that had gotten me up that mountain.
Thank you so much for that. So it's been Omobola Stephen. I've been having a discussion on relationships with those signs, and it's been doing justice to the topic of relationships now. I want to ask this question from you. So how can people work on their mindset?
People can work on their mindset by finding the tool that works for them. And whether you use hypnosis, whether you use meditation, whether you use yoga or anything, you need some tool to manage your emotions, because our emotions are just flitting things. They're electrical impulses. And when you find something that really works, stick with it, because everyone, as they say, the one exercise that is most powerful is the one you actually do. And so when you find something, stick with it. I would recommend they check out hypnosis and really learn the science behind it and see just how powerful it can be. Hypnosis is a great one to change mindset. And NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is also a fantastic one to work with mindset.
Oh, all right. So can you talk a bit about this NLP? I'm interested.
Absolutely. So NLP was developed by two researchers in California who studied hypnotists and therapists and really broke down the systems that they used to help people change. And it's been changed and adapted to over time. And it has very strong ties to hypnosis, but it's not technically hypnosis. And a lot of people in the business world are actually already doing NLP, because Tony Robbins, the famous speaker and motivational coach, that is his big thing. He brings NLP, this thing that is based out of hypnosis, to the community and helps people change their mindset.
Right. That's good to know that. So now let's talk about this relationship proper now. So have you gone to any breakups before? What was the experience like?
I have. One breakup was very, very calm because I think we saw it coming. The other one was very explosive because that relationship we had gotten together fast and we had fallen apart fast because we kind of need each other at that point in our life. And it wasn't so much that we were there for the relationship. We were there to not be alone, essentially. And so I guess what I've learned from that is to really assess the value of a relationship before it starts and see just how much you can give the other person and how much they can contribute as well.
Right. That's a great lesson to know about now. So do you have any projects that you're working on?
I do. I am actually working on my own podcast. It's called the Making Meaning Podcast. And that's where I interview adventurers and other people who have really taken control and ownership of their life. And I ask them the struggles they've overcome. And it's my goal with that is to show people there is a through line, there is a path to where they want to go.
Right. Great. So wish you best of luck.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I know that you're an adventurer also. Has the pandemic affected your adventure life?
Oh gosh, yes. My partner and I, we had been talking about going to Europe this winter, and that clearly has not happened. But this very summer, I was supposed to be hiking across the country. There's a trail called the Pacific Crest Trail. It runs from Mexico to Canada along the West Coast. And I had been planning on hiking that for months this summer. And when COVID happened, the Trail Association just asked people not to do it. And so it had been this dream that I've been, planning and building up for 3 to 4 years and just postponed. That's all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. And I wanted you to take me along.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to join in the adventure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sam, for coming to Omobola Stephen. Do you have any parting word for my audience?
I would say to them that whatever you use, just find something that helps you manage your own emotional states, because they're really so malleable, whether it's hypnosis or meditation or any of these other tools. Find something, because when you take ownership of your own emotions, life really takes off.
That's right. That's very key. When you take ownership of your own emotions, life really takes off. Brilliant. Thank you once again for coming to the show. I hope some other time we can do this again.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
I wish you all the best of luck in your endeavors and your project.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's been Omobola Stephen. Let's do this some other time. Till I come your way, I need you to stay safe always. With all my love, signing out, Omobola Stephen. It's bye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Live life. Live fully.